way back when I first started doing player profiles for the 2021 NFL Draft, it was right after the Vikings' horrific loss to the Atlanta Falcons prior to the bye week. So right around week 6 is when I started doing this. And I started with quarterbacks because at the time, Kirk Cousins just had a terrible game. He was an easy scapegoat. We were looking at quarterbacks for the Minnesota Vikings that they could potentially draft next year. Now, the Minnesota Vikings find themselves in a position where that's unlikely anymore. And also in the middle of the first round, they will not be realistically able to obtain any of the top 4 quarterbacks in the draft. But at the same time, I decided to cover everybody from Trevor Lawrence to Kyle Trask, and the only one I haven't done yet has been Mac Jones as a potential first rounder. So, and truth be told, I actually did film a video about Mac Jones already months ago. But I decided at the time that it wasn't good and I was going to do it again, and I just haven't until today. And I think that scenario playing out that way is probably for the best, because now here we are a few days removed from the national championship game. Suddenly there's a lot more to talk about. Back when I originally filmed this video, I didn't have a lot to say because he's pretty vanilla when it comes to the quarterback position, right? Pocket passer, not really athletic, doesn't have any sort of physical traits that blows you away. It kind of, I don't want this to be a derogatory term, but it kind of screams game manager. But at the same time, it's hard to evaluate him. And I saw a segment the other day from Colin Cowherd, and I couldn't believe I actually agreed with him, go figure, because he's one man that I typically do not see eye to eye with. And he made, a really good point, is that he's very hard to evaluate because he plays on the best team in college football. He's got the best head coach in college football, and he's got a surrounding cast that's all going to be drafted in the first round. I mean, Devontae Smith, Jalen Waddle, Alex Leatherwood, the list goes on and on. And you're going to be looking at a potential quarterback who is going to get thrown into a system that doesn't have those things. And that's really, he's sort of an unknown X factor in terms of what he could be at the next level, because there's just nothing flashy about him. And he doesn't have the athleticism that you get in quarterbacks that go in the top 10, like a Josh Allen or a Trey Lance or even a Zach Wilson. So, but anyway, more on that in a minute. First, let's talk about the man himself, Mac Jones, quarterback, Alabama, junior at 6'3", 215 pounds, depending on what website you get your information from. 2018, he was just along for the ride, appearing only in 6 games, going 5 for 13, 38.5% completion percentage, 38.3, excuse me, 123 yards and a touchdown. Next season in 2019, gets to play a little bit more because of the Tua Tagovailoa injury. Appears in 11 games, goes 97 for 141, 68.8% completion percentage, 1,503 yards passing, 14 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. This is the year, the catalyst, 2020, that sparks Mac Jones into first-round draft conversation. One of the best seasons statistically by a quarterback that we've seen in a while. He leads college football in completions with 311. He appears in 13 games, 311, goes 311 out of 402, 77.2% complete passes completed, number 1 in college football, 4,500 yards passing, number 1 in college football, 41 touchdowns, number 2 in college football, and then of course the 4 interceptions. Just an incredible season statistically, and given the surrounding talent around him, i.e. Jalen Waddle for a little bit and Devontae Smith all year, it's no surprise. Also, we got to mention Najee Harris. Last game played is, of course, the national championship, coming home with some hardware against Ohio State. Has an incredible game, goes 36 for 45, 464 yards, 5 touchdowns, albeit most of that is to Devontae Smith in the first half, who had an incredible start, but unfortunately didn't get to add on to that due to the injury. So, as I said, multiple times there in the span of about 2 minutes, one of the best seasons statistically for Mac Jones that we could possibly imagine. And he walks away with not only the national title, but a few individual awards for himself, winning the Davey O'Brien Award and Johnny Unitas Golden Arm Award. So he gets some nice hardware to close out his college career. Also, this is being filmed the day that he declared, go figure. For the big board rankings around the internet, you find him on tankathon.com at number 22 overall, quarterback number 5. Pro Football Focus has him at number 30 in their mock draft machine, quarterback number 5. And the Draft Network currently lists him as prospect number 48. Will those numbers change as time goes on? I think they will, and he has an opportunity to prove to people that he isn't just a product of Alabama. He's not just a product of the system where he was surrounded by talent that's going to be drafted before him. He has an opportunity, and that opportunity is the Senior Bowl. So if he can get to the Senior Bowl in Mobile, which I think he should, given the fact that it's going to be right next door to Tuscaloosa, if he can get involved in the Senior Bowl and sort of, reproduce the same, I guess, on-field performance with a different surrounding cast, then I think scouts and NFL teams are going to look at him and be like, this is a guy that we can plug into our system, because look what he was able to do in Alabama with all these really great tools. Look what he was able to do at the Senior Bowl. Didn't miss a beat, completely different experience, completely different atmosphere. So if he can pull off a good Senior Bowl, I don't even know if he's officially invited to that quite yet, but Jim Nagy is pretty what's the word, active on social media, so there's some hints dropping that he's probably is, and as of this filming, I don't know. But if he can do that, go to the Senior Bowl and show off his skill set outside of having Devontae Smith and Jalen Waddle and Najee Harris to lean on, then maybe we could be talking about something else. For right now, it looks like most mock draft community members have him going in the first round. Yesterday, The Athletic, Dane Brugler released a 2-round mock draft, and he has Mac Jones going number 24 overall to Pittsburgh, which makes sense given their need at quarterback next year. The fact that Mason Rudolph and Josh Dobbs are not the answer, and the replacement for Big Ben is not currently on the roster. So Mac Jones, we're looking at probably a very, very mid to late round first round draft pick, if at all. And of course, that could change. There's a lot of teams that are going to be moving pieces this year at the quarterback position, so there's going to be opportunity for him to get drafted in the first round. And I think if the Senior Bowl goes how I described it, could go for him, and he has a good combine, if we even get to do the combine, then yeah, I think he could solidify late first round draft status. Somebody will maybe even trade back in to get that 5th-year option. As far as scouting notes goes, I think it's basically some of the stuff that I've been saying since the top of the video. Accuracy. His receivers are always wide open, but he gets them the ball in places where they're going to get it. So, credit to him for doing that. Always good decision making. He's got real good poise in the pocket, knows when to get rid of it, doesn't make a lot of mistakes, i.e. you see the low interception totals over the past couple of years. So that's a good thing. He's got a good head on his shoulders in terms of football IQ and running an offense. The negatives is the athleticism. He just doesn't bring anything extra to the position. He's basically... I don't want to say statue-esque, but he's not going to extend plays. He's not going to run for a spectacular touchdown. Those things are not really going to happen all that often. At the next level, where things are really, really fast, way faster than even in the SEC, that might be a limitation that he's going to be faced with. So probably looking at a late first-round pick, probably looking at a guy who's probably not going to start right away, if at all, this year in the NFL. But that is Mac Jones. This has been another Player Profile. Thank you for watching. Let me know what you think in the comments, and I'll see you in the next one.